My last day in year 6, the teacher said to me, "You're going to end up dead or in jail." And I honestly thought like that's what I was going to do. If you ask any of my friends or anyone I got close to growing up, they'd ask me my job. And I'd reply, my job is to stay alive.
There has been a spike in stabbings, not only in Sheffield but across South Yorkshire, and indeed not only in South Yorkshire, but in the country as a whole. The rate of stabbings in Sheffield has been higher than in some other parts of the country, so that's alarming.
I can talk about my work from my experience, but I'm not living it no more. So when I got brought up, it's very different from you guys. I saw someone got killed when I was 16 at a fair in Hillsborough. He got stabbed to death. I've seen people get shot. It's normal. It was normal. Me ask you, oh, do you know anyone that has anything to do with knives? You're like, no. And then you're like, oh, well, I do know one guy that does carry a knife. That's not good. Like, that's worrying for me. But I can tell by your body language that you're not bothered, and you need to be, because it's dangerous, and kids and especially young people, it's the go-to weapon.
We need to seek out people like Ant, and there's not enough people that have got his specialist knowledge, have got that really lovely way with the students. You could just see this morning, they felt relaxed. I think how this morning's session went was that they were taking a lot in, and just after literally 2 seconds, one of them's just come up to me and sort of shared a bit more information about a situation that they were in. Felt he probably couldn't do it in the group, but you know, it's obviously given enough thought to be able to process that in his own time as well. So I think really successful, really pleased with it.
I'm the director of Always an Alternative. That is a not-for-profit aimed at challenging the mindset of young people around violent crimes. That came from an anti-knife crime campaign called Keep Sheffield Stainless.
As well as the music inside, tonight's organisers have teamed up with the anti-knife crime campaign, Keep Sheffield Stainless.
A young person thinks another person's got a knife. They don't know if they have, so out of fear they carry a knife themselves. And if you carry a knife, you're 3 times more likely to get stabbed. These are the things that they don't know. It put me in a bad place because it was solely focused on knife crime. I'd get videos sent to me of people getting stabbed to death. I honestly thought that someone was going to stab me to death. That's what I thought, random people. I'm looking at your hands, like if you was walking near me and I thought, this guy's a bit odd, I'm staring at your hands, you know, and I've come very angry. Like, I think I'm a funny guy, man. I like to have a laugh and a joke, you know, I like to keep the morale high. But at this time in my life, boy, there was no positivity kicking about. I want to see a shift in young people. I think that young people, especially when you're from a certain area, you're labelled, and the label's not positive. Do you know what I mean? You're from a bad area, you're expected to go to prison, you're expected to get a crap job, you're expected not to make much of yourself. But again, there's the other option. There's your option. There's always an alternative to the way that your life plans out. I want these young people to understand that. So how long have I been working with you now?
3 months now, 4 months.
It seems like I've known you for time. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Can't get rid of you, that's why. Well, I've got some good news and some bad news. What do you want first?
Good news.
Good news is they've extended it for 5 more weeks.
Yeah, well.
Don't you want the bad news?
Yeah, go on, tell me.
You're going to have to see me for 5 more weeks.
What's bad about that?
This is my guy. I love it. I love it. So yeah, in the first 5 sessions, we went through. That's where we did like the conflict management stuff, didn't we? Conflict resolution, the anger management. Have you used any of that? What I told you?
When it comes to like people annoying me, I'll take myself away.
Yeah.
So I was looking back on the stuff that I was doing and thinking twice about it. I start focusing more about thinking the right way than doing it the wrong way. If you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That were right. You've done a lot. There was a big change in school. School noticed a change.
Yeah.
You was potentially you was in trouble all the time, and you calmed down quite a lot, didn't you?
Yeah. Stopped like getting in trouble with the police.
Yeah, that was a big one. No police. When they look at me, they see themselves. And what makes me passionate is when I look at them, I can see myself. I'll choose a date, I'll put it on social media, put it through whatever outlets, word of mouth, whatever. Then people will tell me that they've got knives. I ask them their address, their phone number, how many knives. And then on the day, I plan the route around the safest way to collect the knives. I have slash-resistant Kevlar gloves on. I have a Home Office approved stab vest, and I also put the weapons in a metal briefcase. I don't think people are taking it serious enough. A knife doesn't have the victim's name inscribed on it. A knife is for anybody. Anybody in this room, anybody could get stabbed with that knife, and that's what people need to understand. Innocent people are getting stabbed up. People that are just having altercations with other people getting stabbed up. I think that because the news and the media portray a certain sort of person getting involved in knife crime, it diverts the attention of the severity.
She found him trying to sharpen it. Then he can pull it out of his tracksuit.
So did she tell you about how she got it off him?
Yeah. I found my 14-year-old sharpening this blade. When I questioned him about it, he said it was for his protection. Now that doesn't constitute protection. That's a blade of offence.
Well, that's the issue we've got. Young people are scared, so they're protecting themselves, with something that can chop your arm off. I don't get it.
No, I don't get it. So how are we going to stop this until we get it into education? That's my big thing. Get it into the schools. The kids are carrying this around and why they're carrying it. So I'm going to give this to you.
Every time I go to empty a weapons bin or go and collect a knife, I get that same feeling. It's like a happy feeling because it's off the street, but then it's a gutted feeling because, you know, it just brings to light like how bad it actually is. And even knives like the smaller ones, like when I first started 4 years ago nearly, these are the kind of knives that I'd get. Nice little ones that they could carry easily, and now they got bigger, so they started like that, then they got like that, and then, well, you saw the machete, they ended up that size, and there's a few more in that bag as well. So hopefully, yeah, that they'll get put in as a sculpture. To make a sculpture of a tree, and each blade will potentially be a leaf. It's just like one thing, just to sum up like what we've achieved. Not what I've achieved, because I say it's not just me, what we've achieved, and that's just like my thank you for like people to go and look at and admire the fact that, you know, we are trying to make a difference and trying to save lives.
A sculpture made from 300 weapons taken off the streets of South Yorkshire is the centrepiece of a new exhibition educating people about knife crime.
Yes, it's called The Tree of Opportunity and sits alongside poems from victims and survivors at Exchange Place Studios in Sheffield city centre. Those behind it hope it encourages people who are considering carrying a knife to think twice about it. Ben Bason has the story.
It brings together people of all ages from all walks of life. Poignant poems from victims and survivors are plastered across the walls here, each one describing the devastation caused by knife crime. The centrepiece is the Tree of Opportunity, made from over 300 weapons taken off the streets of South Yorkshire.
I guess I'm lucky because I've not been affected by it. It's just like something here on news, isn't it? And Anthony's opened my eyes to what's actually going on. And I'm just proud that he asked me, and I'm helping him get his message across.
My name is Martin McCurvey, so I'm the High Sheriff for South Yorkshire. I got to know Anthony through some work that a number of us are doing in Sheffield together, and I was very, very impressed with him as a person, and as I found myself spending time with him, I got more and more interested in understanding the great service he's providing to young people across many communities in Sheffield and South Yorkshire. And I think Anthony and his team at Always an Alternative deserve huge credit for the tireless work they do. It's a societal problem, and it's one I think that we need to work collectively with our young people on to help them to make the right decisions in life. And one of those decisions should be, there is no benefit whatsoever for me to ever think about carrying a knife.
I think today's been a good success, a great success actually. A lot of people have come, a lot of new people. I think it's done what it was supposed to do and spread awareness. It's taken something that was dangerous and could have took someone's life, and it's created something beautiful. The message there that knife crime can affect anybody is in that room. So today we are a year on from the exhibition that we did, the Cutting Edge Knife Crime Awareness Art Exhibition, which was a success. To get as many young people as possible in one space at one time was in schools. So what I did, I redesigned the exhibition to make it portable so I could take it around the schools, and we did that. So we've been around 16 schools, universities, primary schools, alternative provisions, which was very, very positive. That's currently on show at the Cathedral now. The big change happened in, I think it was December, where we was given charity status. So now we're Always an Alternative CIO, and now we've got that status, we'll be able to go for bigger funding, get people jobs and develop to as big as we can make it. You know, I realised that I was my own limitation, and that even the Lone Ranger had a horse, he wasn't by himself, you know. So I thought, you know what, if I make it into a charity, I'll get some good trustees that can add value to Always an Alternative, and that's what I've done, and it's been crazy. I think to make a true difference, what you need is a complete rollout across the city. And what I mean by that is, for instance, me, my mentors going into each school around the same time, targeting young people that might be at risk of carrying a knife or making bad decisions. Then what we can do with that is we can all be on the same level. No school is feeling that they're being left out. Also, on top of that, we need youth clubs and stuff. So when young people aren't in school, they're getting engaged. You know, that's why we've got the mobile youth club, so we can go to different areas and engage with those young people. I'd like to see the police toughen up on sentences. I think that the sentences that they're giving, especially young people, are far too lenient. Let's just understand one thing. Doing something once can be a mistake. Doing the same thing again is not a mistake. That is on purpose. And for me, if you do something the second time after being educated and informed on your first mistake, then you must feel the consequences. We will see a difference, because I think slowly but surely people are getting more on board. They're seeing that we have got a problem and it's not going away, and I think I just like to see people pull together a bit more and look at the young people as potentials to run our country, instead of just young people that are allowed to do as they please.
I don't wanna see another mother cry for a son. What happened to a one-on-one? Now it's live by the gun or die by the gun, or worse, kids end up with a knife in the lungs. Yeah, I get it, you gang, you stack prof. Got a rep on the roads, being mashed fox. Never leaving your house without a shank touch. Reason being you're too afraid to catch pops. Little brothers need to man up. Keep the city still, let chef stand up. Don't take a brother's life cause you're afraid to have a fight. Then go jail and take battle. To all the fallen, I'm hoping you're in a better place. But I don't wanna see another soul separate. To ones that I lost to this road thing. Have a spliff roll for me at heaven's gates. Look at the state, fully disgraced. Feds are locking up. Look at the state, I want someone to change. I don't wanna see another brother touching the grave.